Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. We're about to hear the Doctor's dark secret. Police have had their eyes on Dr. Buff for some time, and just today, a number of stolen artifacts were discovered in his study. Among them were a priceless urn and a statue that were stolen from the Fae clan. It seems the Doctor would do anything to study artifacts, including steal them. I'm wondering if he was not the one doing the stealing. As for the relic at the center of this dispute, he likely stole it from the Addison residence. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Addison. I think I start reading it as Addison. I'm like, no, it's Attition. The Doctor is a thief? I don't know. I mean, he probably knows that these aren't legit. But hey, if someone else is doing the stealing and he doesn't need to know anything about it, what are you gonna do? Why am I just hearing about this now? Well, cat burglar isn't something he'd put on his resume. He was more careful than that. The fact is, he was a classic treasure hunter. I mean, again, where's the proof that he's the one who did it, though? A treasure hunter, huh? Like people who have thrilling adventures in exotic places risking life and limb for glory? I doubt Dr. Buff was the star of his own hit movie series, Athena. Out of respect for the dead, I will say that Dr. Buff wasn't doing it to get rich. Apparently, he only wanted to borrow artifacts to study them. He would then return them as soon as his research was finished. Oh, alright, well. There goes my theory. According to the Doctor's child, he would even repair or restore some of the artifacts he stole before returning them. He believes he was honoring the dead by discovering their history through artifacts. Whatever lofty ideals he held, it makes no difference. Larceny is larceny.
Yes, he certainly sounds no different from a regular thief to me.
Well, except that he returns his stuff. Alright. So let's say for a moment that the Doctor really did moonlight in stealing artifacts. Might he not have stolen the Founder's Orb in Khura'in and brought it back here himself? Nope. There's no record of him traveling overseas for the past few years. Plus, he couldn't very well leave his reclusive child at home all alone.
Then this really must be the Crystal of Ami Fae.
Yes, he stole it from the Attition residence, probably so he could study it. This is a left hook I did not need. Oh, come on. I bet you never saw that coming, Apollo. Huh? Apollo? Apollo, I bet you didn't see that coming at all. Hey, Apollo, are you upset that you didn't know that was about to happen? Yeah, don't you wish you'd known about that going into the case? I bet you're really upset right now. I hope I'm helping. Yeah, when Mr. Wright said the kid gloves were off, he wasn't kidding.
Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
The Doctor's dark secret. All right.
Hold it!
How exactly did Dr. Buff arouse the suspicion of the police anyway? Hook it up to good old-fashioned sleuthing. After investigating countless artifact thefts over the past few years, the police finally zeroed in on him, and the Doctor became their prime suspect. A number of these artifact thefts occurred in Khura'in Village too, if I might add. And they started right around the time the Doctor moved there. But he was never arrested. I take it there was nothing concrete linking him to a crime? No, which is why we were never able to get a search warrant in the first place. It's hard to arrest artifact thieves unless you catch them red-handed. Still, the police had him under constant surveillance. Wait. Doesn't that just mean it would be harder for him to steal something?
Hold it!
Are you sure these allegedly stolen artifacts are the real deal? They're not fakes, that's for sure. Take the urn for example. Apparently, it's an extremely intricate work of art. Design, cracks, and other features would be impossible to replicate perfectly. Actually, I've had a few run-ins with that urn myself, so I was shocked to see it there in the Doctor's study. I can say without a doubt that that urn was stolen from the Fae clan. I see.
Detective Sky, please continue with your testimony, if you would.
Hold it!
Were any of... other stolen artifacts found besides those belonging to the Fays? Yes, for instance. Remember the large relief on the wall? It was chiseled out of some ancient ruins in the Kingdom of Khura'in several years ago. Chiseled out. Didn't that damage it? Well, he did restore the parts that were so faded you could barely see them anymore. It seems he intended to return it someday, so one could say his intentions were good. But good intentions are no get-out-of-jail-free card, that's a fact. If I might add, with respect for the deceased, the quality of the restoration was apparently exceptional. It seemed the doctor invested a lot of money in hiring an extremely talented specialist. He sounded like a good man who took a wrong turn somewhere. I guess Sarge takes after him in that way. Any further questions? If not... Not done here.
Hold it!
Had these alleged thefts been going on for some time? At least 5 years, as far as we can tell. And no one could figure this out. All the recent thefts had been local. Before moving to Khura'in Village, he had been stealing from ruins around the world. Dr. Buff was an international criminal? This data lends itself to but one conclusion. Dr. Buff was a thief.
Hold it!
You're gonna have to give us something. You claim he stole a family heirloom from the Attition residence, but claiming something doesn't make it true. Unfortunately, it is true. How can you be so sure? Police report was filed concerning the theft 1 year ago, in fact. What? A whole year ago? August 25th of last year, to be exact. The report states, and I quote, "The crystal Nami Fae was discovered to be missing. From the Attition storehouse at 10 a.m., the storehouse lock had been picked. Signed, Politician Wimperson."
Well, your old report certainly lends the plaintiff's claim credence. The doctor really could have stolen the crystal of Ami Fae.
Not only that, Your Honor, but the Founder's Orb was only found to be missing several weeks ago, and is nearly 1 year after the crystal's theft was reported. Therefore, I believe we must consider the orb and the crystal to be two separate items. Not necessarily. Paul Attition Wimperson? Not the most awe-inspiring tail end, is it? I can see why he cut it. Not that he inspires confidence without it. Still, I'd probably do the same in his shoes. A report filed a year ago by Mr. Paul Attition Wimperson for the theft of the crystal of Ami Fae. A police report was filed about the crystal's theft a year ago, but the theft of the Founder's Orb was only reported a few weeks ago. So the crystal's police report was filed way before the orb was found missing. That suggests the stolen relic is the crystal of Ami Fae, as Mr. Attition Wimperson asserts. I doubt the police report is fake. After all, Emma is the one who submitted it as evidence. Still, I feel like something we learned in that police report is important somehow. Wait, hold on. Report filed a year ago by one Mr. Paul Attition Wimperson for the theft of the crystal of Ami Fae. What was this? I deciphered a pattern. I've yet to crack the riddle. The opaque crystal orb is the key. Dr. Buff, how's your research coming along? Was this dated? Poor eyesight, couldn't read anything without these. Glowing moss, probably got there. Alright, that's more recent. Well, but he calls it the Founder's Orb right there. It's on the floor. Wait, what? I have no idea what just happened. Anyway, I was looking at that. The doctor hid it in the ruins before his untimely death. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Wrong button. We'll just cycle through all this again. Yep. Those sure are the things that that you said. Again. Report filed a year ago. Well, wait. I have yet to crack the riddle. The opaque crystal orb is the key. Do paw 711. To paw 7. Oh! Politician Wimperson. Hold on. So then he likely stole it. Not true.
Objection!
The doctor stole the relic from the plaintiff? Are you sure? Because that statement doesn't agree with a certain piece of evidence. What do you mean? Take a look at this. What about it? This contains an email from the doctor's computer.
Email? That little piece of plastic? What they can do with technology these days. Anyway, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Oh, this stick here can store all sorts of computer data.
I still don't get it.
Here, just look at this. Apparently, the doctor was reporting his research findings to a certain individual. Now take a look at this. It's the police report Detective Sky presented to this court. You can see the plaintiff's legal name on it. Politician Wimperson.
I can see why you'd drop a Wimperson from his name, but that's hardly breaking news.
Look closer, Your Honor. Ha! We got him! His initials. Right. The plaintiff's full legal name is Politician Wimperson. Now consider this. The email's recipient address starts with 3 letters. P-A-W? Don't tell me. Oh, but I will anyway. The individual who hired the doctor to study the disputed item is none other than Politician Wimperson. Wait, then that means... Exactly. He wouldn't have asked the man who stole his family heirloom to study it. Therefore, how could this possibly be the crystal of Ami Faye? Got him. We never checked the doctor's emails. Couldn't even figure out the password to his computer. The plaintiff willingly left the orb in the doctor's care so he could study it, at the behest of his benefactor. Oh, wait. What about the police report? How about the details of the theft right here? It's probably for another relic, the real crystal of Ami Faye. He's just using the report as a way to claim that our orb is actually a stolen crystal.
Objection!
And how are you so certain that PAW refers to my client's initials? Maybe the email's recipient was a dog lover. Perhaps, so let's get to know your client a little better, shall we? Mr. Politician Wimperson.
I suppose shutting down detractors is all part of a politician's job.
Answer me this, Mr. Titian Wimperson. What is... your birthday? What is your birthday?
My birthday, it's July 11th. But what's it to you?
I just wanted to get you something nice.
Oh, I see. You can address birthday gifts to my office. But full disclosure, I only accept gifts valued at $1,000 or more.
See, it's funny to see that happen to Phoenix when we benefit.
Why is everyone gone silent?
How can anyone be that self-centered? All right, politician. Just snap that as well. Did everyone hear that? He said July 11th. July 11, or rather 7-11, matches the numbers in the email address. Both the name and birthday are a match. I hardly think that's a coincidence.
Wait. Why, you sneaky little...
Looks like someone finally decided to join the conversation. Would the plaintiff care to explain?
I would like to say, that is quite...
Quite what?
Quite a thing you've said.
Any other thoughts?
No further comments. I stand by my previous statement.
Hold it!
You can't just walk away. Even politicians have to explain themselves in a court of law.
I'm afraid I simply don't know how it happened. I can't possibly explain matters outside of my purview. Perhaps it was a mistake on the part of my secretary.
Oh no, you don't, you slippery eel. Mr. Wright, would you care to respond? I won't argue your assertion. My client lent the treasure in question to the doctor and asked him to study it. Seems that much is a fact. Now we're getting somewhere. Nope. However, it has no bearing on the issue of ownership. How so? Mr. Attition, I fully understand your position here. You had to hide the fact you sent the crystal out to be studied. Your family would have been very upset if they had found out. It's a fairly heirloom after all. You've got to be kidding me.
Mr. Wright is, well, right, of course. But then he always is. That's why he's my lawyer. The crystal is a precious Attition family heirloom and has been for centuries. But Dr. Buff was so eager to study its proud heritage, I just couldn't say no. I didn't even tell my grandfather.
Objection!
But in order to win the backing of your so-called benefactor, you were going to give what you claim to be the Crystal of Ami Faye to that person? You were going to give a precious family heirloom away just like that?
I was going to explain everything to my grandfather later, honest.
My client's grandfather is very proud of his grandson for following in his footsteps, and refusing him would have meant dashing the dreams of his darling grandson. I doubt the kindly old man could have said no.
Well, grandchildren are meant to be spoiled.
That one for my parents and my in-laws.
That's what grandfathers are for.
Your Honor, please. I mean, it's been in the families for centuries.
My grandfather thinks highly of my talents as a politician. That's why he entrusted me with this very important name placard today.
What? Gonna let that go.
So I'm sure he would have been okay with me using the crystal as I saw fit.
Ugh, Grandpa's spoiled little brat. I think the judge is buying it, Apollo. No surprise there. He's always going on about his own grandchild, after all. Excuse me. Can I leave now, Mr. Wright? I believe my work here is done. By all means, Detective Sky, thank you for your assistance. You're welcome. It's nice to testify at a civil trial once in a while. See you around.
It seems the facts have changed somewhat. Mr. Attition Woodperson apparently lent his family heirloom to Dr. Buff. Mr. Justice, how would the defense like to proceed?
Alright, now what? Apollo, let's hear what they know about this so-called Crystal of Ami Fae. Maybe we can find some inconsistencies in their statements. Right. Okay then, Mr. Wright, if the item in question really is an Attition family heirloom, then let's hear all your client knows about it. Of course. Mr. Attition Wimperson, please tell the defense everything you know about the crystal's origin.
Alright, now then, listen and learn. This is the tale of the Crystal of Ami Fae, and the illustrious history of the Attition clan. Are you ready? Our story begins back in the old country, when the Attition family reigned supreme.
Which old country? The illustrious history of the Attition clan. Great.
My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler. He protected the spirit mediums, a minority back then, from the rest of the locals. Some discriminated against them, you see, while others tried to abuse their power. As thanks, Ami Fae gave the crystal she had, specially made as a gift to him. I am a descendant of that great lord. As such, my political power and influence is backed by centuries of history.
Well, that developed into a great load of self-aggrandizing propaganda fast. As you can see, the Crystal of Ami Fae is an heirloom of the esteemed house of Attition. And you have proof that it has always been in the Attition family. I have someone who gave a statement to that effect. My client's neighbor, one Ive Shinito. Age 85, gave the following statement. I got nothing. I'm sure I'll probably feel really dumb when I figure it out. The Attitians showed me the crystal back when I was but a lad.
Objection!
We really trust the memory of an old man. Mr. Justice, would you care to explain that statement to the judge? I mean... what I'm trying to say is, look over there, distraction!
Never underestimate the memory of your elders. You may forget my verdicts the next day, but the memories of my past are clear as day. Therefore, I find Mr. Ives Shineto's statement to be perfectly credible.
Wow, did you see how Mr. Wright got the judge on his side? That's definitely a trick I want up my sleeve. You're not helping, Athena.
You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Justice.
The illustrious history of the Attition clan.
Hold it!
Don't think this is gonna get us anywhere. That object you set down there, is it something of importance to you?
It's a name placard. This one here belonged to my grandfather, Abraham Attition. He had it custom made during his distinguished political career.
Neat.
It's special because it was crafted from the finest Italian plastic.
I wasn't aware the Italians were famous for their fine plastic. Yep.
You can touch it if you want.
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Very well, I'll just continue with my testimony. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler, but he was also an eminent politician.
Hold it!
So I take it the relationship with the Fae clan was a close one.
The smooth and open line of communication with my entire electorate. That is the politician way.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was asking about your ancestor.
Whether it's about me or my ancestor, feel free to ask me anything you'd like. No transparency in government, that's the politician way.
More like dodging questions, that's the politician way. Thanks, I'll be sure to ask when I have something you'll actually answer.
As I was saying, the Attition family protected the Fae spirit mediums back then.
spirit mediums were targets of discrimination?
Yeah, some people even treated them like they were monsters. The transformation the mediums underwent when channeling spirits frightened the locals. And then there were those who tried to use them.
You mean they sought to control the channeling powers of the mediums?
Discriminating against a minority is absolutely despicable. The vote for me is a vote to end discrimination. I vow to root it out wherever it may be. That is my promise to you.
He's totally ignoring your questions. It's like you're a moderator at a political debate. Yeah, and only he cares about his talking points. As thrilling as your campaign is, could we please get back to your testimony?
Fair, as you wish. Now then, as for the crystal of Amife.
Hold it!
Okay. You said she had it made, so then it was made in Japan?
That's right, they say she hired a famous craftsman to make it. And they say it's quite valuable, too.
And you were going to take such a priceless family heirloom and just give it to your patron?
That's so typical of you ignorant common types. Making difficult decisions when the chips are down is what being a politician is all about.
But only when it's in service of your own political career, you mean?
The crystal is a testament to my ancestors' remarkable achievements. And furthermore...
Hold it!
But are you? So tell me, Mr. Titian Wimperson, are you famous in Korean Village?
You could say that, but I find my popularity to be rather bemusing.
Bemusing?
Yes, my campaign posters keep going missing as soon as I put them up. My avid supporters and female fans are likely taking them home to hang in their bedroom. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. I guess ignorance really is bliss. Oh, this only proves my fine lineage.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, but is any of that relevant to the issue of the relic's rightful owner?
Have you never heard of kingcraft?
Kingcraft?
It's the art of ruling as a king. My father drilled it into my head from a young age. One of its precepts states, ruin awaits a ruler who responds to every single issue posed by the masses.
Well, that answered my question about what he meant by king of this nation. Progress! Apollo, who is this Amife anyway? I believe she was the founder of the Korean channeling technique. The plaintiff claims she had the crystal made for his ancestors. That would mean it was made in Japan, right? Yes, I suppose it would. Alright, we'll finish up this cross-examination in the next episode. Hope you're all still enjoying this. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.